Hey, hi, good evening, Abhilash. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening. Yes, I am good. Thank you so much. Perfect. Good to go. Can we start?
Yeah, good to
Yeah.
go.
Perfect. A very cool evening, everyone. Now that we actually are enjoying the winters, it's been delayed, but yes, they are here. Again, welcome all to this new episode of Fireside Chat at Fireblaze. Today, we have a very fascinating guest with us. His journey is really amazing. We have Mr. Abhilash with us. He has done his Bachelor of Pharmacy. Yes, I am correct. He has done his Bachelor of Pharmacy from Hyderabad, Sri Venkateshwara College of Pharmacy. And today, uh, after completing graduation, he started working as a claim associate at UHG, Health Group, United Health Group. And today he is working as the tech lead at advanced analytics at Diggibyte Technologies based in Bangalore. So he has a fabulous journey from getting graduated in pharmacy and today leading an advanced analytics vertical at Bangalore. So, first of all, welcome, and we are very excited to know how you are where you are and how you could transition from B Farm to be leading the analytics vertical today. So, I mean, this is just a small introduction what everyone would know by just looking at your LinkedIn profile. But we would love to understand your journey, how things has fallen in place for you.
Yeah. Thanks for the lovely introduction. It was great listening. Just like all others, after my 10 plus 2, I was I thought of having medicine, but unfortunately I had missed having I couldn't crack the medicine. So as I was not sure. I was a bit confused there. So I took some suggestions and based on that I didn't know what's the long term plan, but I just wanted to study something, right? Just like not 17, 18-year old, confused state of mind. So that's how I choose BPharm. I thought there would be a good scope for BPharm. Yeah. So immediately after completing my graduation in pharmacy, I have when I landed in my first job, I worked as a medical representative, right? So the typical job of a medical representative is like you have to visit each clinic and sell your products. So I didn't find that interesting. So then that's where I thought like I just want I and during my time as a medical representative, I thought of searching a different job. Like I was more interested in IT, with systems, big buildings, all those things. So that's how I landed in United Health Group. When I joined United Health Group, again it's a KPO job. Okay, so there are different jobs. Like KPO is different from BPO. Like BPO is typically a call center where people make calls and all those things, right? Now KPO is like you have certain procedures, like your set of procedures. You have to follow those procedures, like releasing an insurance form or checking some financial forms and all those things. Again, it's a routine job. You hardly have some 20 procedures. Every day you have to log in, follow these 20 procedures and release the forms and all those things. At that time, during my days with United Health Group, there are certain people who were working on Excel, creating some reports. Okay, reports is like how much of like we were a team of around 20 people. So in these 20 people, there used to be an MIS analyst. We used to call them as MIS analyst, which is Management Information System, right? So they used to create certain reports like attendance or how much of what is the percentage of accuracy we are maintaining in releasing the forms and all those things. Okay, so they used to use some macros, Excel formulas, macros, and all those things. Now I thought that was pretty cool. So working with Excel, I working with numbers. That's where I found interest. So they used to create all these visualizations, conditional formatting, and all those things. So that's where I got some interest. Then I thought, okay, this is something cool. I have to learn, but I didn't know anything anything in Excel. To be it was back in 2018. Except copy and paste, I didn't know anything in Excel. I just know how to open Excel, copy and paste. Okay, they are enter the numbers. Now I found some institute in Hyderabad in Amipet. Just like others, I joined the institute. I tried to learn. First time it's a 40-day course I joined. Again, they were saying something, but if you what I personally believe is like if you know certain 10% of something, any technology, if you join a course, that would be helpful, right? If you want to start right from zero in a course, that would be difficult because you are one among 40 or 50 plus people, right? And we always have this tendency like not asking questions. We always feel like if we ask this question, everyone feel it might be a silly question or something. We always have that insecurity. So first time I finished this 40-day course, but again it's the same thing. I couldn't learn anything. Maybe this time, apart from copy paste, I learned a few other different minor logics. Then I could say like it is a failed attempt, and I took 2 months gap. Again, after 2 months, I joined a different course with a different institute. This time, I was like, since I was already joined the course first time, I was aware of what is Excel or how the logics are formulas are built. So that's where second time was bit okay, but not 100% again. So this time I learned some basic Excel logics, but example VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, but not advanced level. Again this time compared to first time I was okay. I was bit confident. Now I took again 2 months gap. I just tried to understand what is the purpose, right? Why I just took some time to analyze why am I not able to understand the thing? Is it the fault from my side? Is it the fault from the trainers? Then this time I thought like second compared to first time I improved a lot. Okay, I took that as a motivation. I took again 2 months gap. This time I took there is this website called Urban Pro where you find one-to-one tutors, right? So there I found some tutors. I did some R&D. Found one tutor from Pune. So I took one-to-one classes this time, just to understand on a business high-level concept and on a business level how they are using Excel and macros. Okay, this this helped me in understanding how learning something is important, and implementing what you have learned in a real time. That is something which comes with experience itself, right? Either you have to experience it or someone who has already experienced it has to teach you, right?
Correct.
So this is where I was confident that okay, this time I was okay. I have learned and I know where I have to implement what I have learned, how I have to implement, how to understand the things, how to create a visualization, how to create a graph, everything, right? So that's where my journey with Excel has started. Somehow I have grabbed job in global logic and global data. Sorry, it was global data. So we were using a lot of Excel formulas, everything. 2 months, I have worked there for 2 months, but I have learned again. There they were using a lot of macros and a lot of shortcuts, right? In Excel, without using your mouse, using your keyboard, you can use you can navigate between different sheets. Okay, with your keyboard itself, you can save a lot of time instead of using a mouse in Excel. Okay, so I have learned in 2 months, like if from global data, I've learned a lot on how to use different logic, how to use shortcuts. If you are an analyst, first thing is you have to create a report in shortest span of time with better performance and better usage, right? So for that you have to understand the shortcuts. So there I have learned a lot of shortcuts, everything. So again here I was good with Excel, but macros is something I was not 100% confident. But later it was back in 2018-19. So at that time, I mean, if you look at Excel, right, there is a limitation. Let's say maximum data we can load is 10 million records, right? If you have more than a million records, a million records. If you have more than a million records, you cannot load that data. And as the data size increases, Excel will be slower, right? So if you look into the market, example, any financial services or in a retail firm, right? they have some millions of records each second, right? So that's where I have got this, that how they are handling this data, right? They cannot use, obviously considering the size of this their data, they cannot use Excel, right? So that's where I was doing some R&D, and I was able to find this term called business intelligence. So I did some research on what exactly is business intelligence, and how business intelligence will help in creating different reports with larger data set with better performance. Right? And again, I thought, okay, Excel is okay, but one more thing I was worried is, in the longer run, knowing only Excel will not keep it, it won't help you to survive. You know, if you want to grow technically, then you have to expand your technical skill set, right? That's obvious, but because you cannot stick to one technical skill set more than 1.5 years, maximum 2 years. So that's where my interest towards business intelligence came. Then I thought, okay, business intelligence is okay, but which business intelligence tool I have to learn? Because we have a lot of tools in the market. We have Power BI, we have Tableau, we have Click, we have MicroStrategy, and all these things. Again a different. It's again a good problem to have, right? So I thought, initially I thought of going with Tableau. So I have attended few any tool you have to learn, right? We have to do R&D, and there should be open forums, like they'll create some open forums, open discussions, right? So I have attended those forums just to understand what is the scope and how people are learning, and I just want to interact with the people and what is their experience with the tool. So first I started with Tableau. I have attended a couple of sessions. I found it was interesting, but somewhere I found it was a bit difficult. Then I went to Click. Again, Click was okay, but somewhere I was not satisfied. Then at that time Power BI was booming. The first thing I thought, Power BI is like Microsoft, Excel is a Microsoft tool, Power BI is a Microsoft tool. So both are from same organization. So almost, if same company is releasing different tools, almost like base functionality remains the same.
Correct.
Yeah. So if you look at the ribbon, right, home, data tab, view tab, everything was same. I found that, positive there. Okay, it's something similar like Excel. So maybe looking at it, I felt like it would be easier to learn. Okay. So that's where I started learning Power BI. So it was before COVID time. I somehow started practicing. Initially, I found it, initially I thought it's just drag and drop. Just drag the columns, create visualizations, then it's done. But after second session, I have identified it's not drag and drop. There are a lot of things which are happening in the backend. You have something called Power Query, you have tags, you have visualization. You cannot use. There are certain visualization standards you have to follow. So I have somehow I've completed the course in 45 days. But next 3 months, I just kept on practicing. Like I used to take some random. I used to take some sample data set and calculate different sources. I used to create different visualizations just to understand how we can end users prospect. Okay, so that's where I started my journey. Now I have learned Power BI. Somehow I have learned, and then I found next job. I was fortunate to find next job in Power BI. Then we started implementing Power BI. Then after Power BI, again, I thought like, okay, Power BI is okay, but again, it's been 2 years, so you have to learn a different technology. Now I thought, why can't I go for different BI tools? If you want to be in the market, someone asked me like, why can't a Tableau or ClickSense? Why only Power BI? Then I should be aware of, right? Because for me, Tableau was easy, Power BI was easy. That's why I've learned. But few users request Tableau or Click other things. So that's where I found interest in Tableau. So somehow I took some trainers and I learned Tableau. Then Tableau is done, Power BI is done. Then I thought like, okay, but in the market you'll always have. It's not that you have to know BI tool. You have to know the entire process, right from data ingestion, how data engineering is working, how data architect is creating the data models. If you understand this entire process, then only you can create proper reports. Creating a report is different. Creating a report with better performance and better quality and good standard is a different thing. The second thing, is comes with practice and it comes with experience itself. Okay, so that's where I was interested in understanding how the backend team is working. So right now I'm just trying to explore how backend. I would say like I can't say I've completely explored, but I got some high level understanding, right? And on the data architect part how data architect is understanding the data and how he's creating the data model, and how a data engineer is creating a medallion architecture, and how he's transforming the data raw data into proper reusable data, semantic models, and how Power BI developer could help data engineer and data architect understand, make their job easy, right? And indirectly, which makes Power BI developer job easy. So that's where I am now. So right now I'm still learning the data engineering part, but yeah.
I mean, uh, I am little curious. So lot of people think that analytics is not just enough. They should also know Python, and followed by machine learning, and then all the other data pre-processing knowledge as well should be there. What is your take on this? Like, have you ever have started
That is again Python or these most of the time, you know uh, in general, yes, obviously, that is again it's a marketing thing, right? If you are a data analyst, you should know R, Python, SQL, everything. It's not that, okay? In general, when it comes to organization, there are different teams, right? You have a data architect team, you have data modeling team, you have data engineering team, you have BI team, and you have data science team, right? So ideally, when it the flow of data is data architect and data modeler will create a proper data structures like data modeling. Ideally, data architect will create a data structure on how data from source should come to your bronze layer or your silver layer or your gold layer, and how different tables should be created, reusable tables should be created, so that BI user and data science team can use that data to create different reports for reporting and data science purpose, right? So first and foremost, you should understand what you want to be exactly. Is it like obviously you should have a high level understanding on data science concepts, but you should always understand which area you should be, either data engineering part or reporting part. Take one as your primary technology. Like let's consider BA. For me, BA is my primary technology, right? It's not that I should know only BA, but 90% I should have understanding on BA. Another 10% high level understanding on what is AIML, okay, or what is data engineering, what is the job of data architect, right? Just high level understanding that would help a BA developer to create better reports,
correct?
right? Once you are good with one tool, then you can start exploring. Like if you want to explore options, then you can move towards data engineering side, or you can move towards data architect side, or you can move towards data science side. Again, if you are moving towards data science side, then you should know Python, all these data science, Python, or all these data science technologies. If you are moving towards data engineering, then you should be aware of Databricks or GCP or AWS or Snowflake. If you want to be a data architect, then you have different data modeling tools, so you should be aware of those data modeling tools.
Correct. What do you think as a fresher? Like, see, I mean, just to give you a brief understanding about who the learners are and what we do. So, we are a tech company based out of Nagpur, but we have branches in Pune and Hyderabad as well. I guess I saw where your college was, Sri Venkateshwar college. I guess it was in Madhapur, right? So
Yeah.
one of our branches is close to Madhapur itself in Hyderabad. So again, these are the learners. Major category. So we have our own 6 months and 9 months long postgraduate program in data science, analytics, and AI. Okay, under which we predominantly teach Python, machine learning, so that they can dive into the data science or decision science area. And in this side, analytics side, we upskill them in Excel, Power BI, and SQL, so that the analytics side and BI side is also open for them, right? Maximum maximum what everyone is somewhat of your genre, right? They are either freshers, they are either college going students, or they are either past out working professionals who are working in KPOs and BPOs, banks and financial industries, and want to migrate and make a career in IT, right? Now, for them, the primary goal is land a job. They don't care what they want to get into. Like for you, you were pretty much attracted towards working in Excel. You saw people in your organization working with pivots, creating those dashboards and diagrams, and then I mean it sparked you or ignited a fire within you so that you want to go into the domain, right? But a lot of times I see that people just hear these buzzwords that okay, analytics, okay, data science, okay, AI, these are the upcoming job. You need to learn them, otherwise they eat up your job, right? This is secure your future, something of that sort. So no one does a lot of R&D, right? What I can sense from your personality is that you learn, you do R&D, you self-learn after learning everything, right? And that's what helps you to have a command over a subject. And obviously that is the pattern. Now, what according to you would be the basic skill sets which would be like bare minimum according to you, or if ABCD, these skill sets are there on a fresher's CV, and if he or she has done some good amount of 3-4 good end-to-end projects and are very clear with the concepts, what they have done and implemented in that project, would be good enough for them to land a job?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. So before landing into job, someone who you want to learn, right? You should have this mindset that it's not for the purpose of job you are learning something. It's for your self satisfaction, right?
Thank you.
That's where the shift in mindset happens. Okay, so I could see a lot of people now, right? Especially with the Gen Z, right? So what even I was into millennial generation. So what I used to think is okay, if I learn, there are there is this lot of marketing which is happening that learn data science in 45 days, learn data science in 30 days, right? So we get interested. Okay, in general, when we see that as a fresher, what I think, okay, I'll join the course daily 4 hours, I'll sit on the course, and 30 days I'll complete the course. Next 30 days I'll find the job. Okay, this is the mindset people have. It's not that. Again, this is my personal experience, right? It's not about how many hours each day you are spending. It's not that. Always remember one thing: spend 1 hour each day. That's fine, but it should be a longer run. It's a minimum of 6 months you should spend, right? It's not that instead of spending 1 hour 6 months, I'll just spend 4 hours each day for 30 days. That's never going to work out, right? So here what happens is you will learn the thing, but you will not get the exposure on where to implement those concepts, right? So to know, to learn and to have experience on where to implement those concepts, you should focus on a long-term goal. Minimum, I should suggest is like to spend 2 hours, just not more than that, 2 hours, but continue. It should be a continuous process for next 3 months. There shouldn't be anything like, oh, today Friday or weekend, Saturday, Sunday. There shouldn't be that. Spend 2 hours or 3 hours, but in the longer run, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. That's where you'll get more exposure. Okay. Second thing, if you're doing any project, just understand the problem statement, right? It's not that someone is doing certain project, I should do that, right? Never ever. Just understand as per your understanding what is the problem statement. Okay, example, an AI use case or a reporting use case, right? Just uh, be in yourself in the shoe of a CEO, CFO of the company, right? Let's say you're running an institute or educational institute, right? Now you are the director or you are the CFO, right? So as a CFO, what I want to see, okay, I want to see what is the profit I have generated, or how much of revenue I have generated, and what is the expenditure I am doing. Okay, so just understand what end user might request. Based on that, you start building the product. It's not always be in the shoes of end user. It's not that when we develop something, right, it's not our profit. You should always remember who are our end users and how the end users will get benefits with our product, right? It could be a report or it could be some AI tool, right? So based on that, you should build a product. then that gives you more exposure, and simultaneously that gives you more experience, like enthusiasm. Okay, this will solve this problem. And when you attend the interviews, this gives more weightage. Okay, so that's where you should have the change in mindset, right?
Absolutely correct. Now, what do you think are the future? I mean, Power BI currently is booming, and as you said that it is very much in line by Microsoft, since it is again an extension of Excel, where you can create a very wonderful BI and others. And now that they have already integrated it with OpenAI and ChatGPT, so it is obviously going to be there. What do you think? Is Power BI a very important skill for everyone to have, or are there any other skills as well?
Yeah. So yeah, again in the data science part, I was not much into data science, so it's not a good thing for me to go into that one, right? Because I have very less exposure on that. But BI reporting, yes. So Power BI will always have scope. Okay. So again, it doesn't mean that there is no scope for other BI tools. Okay. So always remember, Power BI always has its market share. Tableau has its market share, and MicroStrategy has its market share, right? Power BI will always have scope, and simultaneously, I will not sugarcoat this that Power BI is the only BI tool, right? So if you are learning, learn one BI tool. It could be Power BI, it could be Tableau, or it could be MicroStrategy, right? So when it comes to the organizations, example, if you are working for a European client, right? So European clients, they prefer Microsoft products, right? So that's why they prefer Power BI. If you go for a Middle East Middle East clients, so Middle East, they are more into, they don't want to move their data to cloud, because they always have this insecurity with the cloud. So Power BI is a server based. Although Power BI has a cloud, Tableau has a cloud, but they're more into server based, right? So Middle East, Tableau works. Again, if you go to US market, or North America, South America market, it's combination of Power BI, Tableau, and so every tool has its scope. Definitely, Power BI also it has its scope. Power BI always have its client. Tableau has its client. If you are learning, learn only one tool. Just try to focus on, if you are learning for Power BI, right? Just focus on Power BI. Just try to understand end-to-end Power BI. Then start searching. Right?
Makes sense.
Right? It's not that other tools are also there, but if you look at the market, if you look at any organization, right from the O365 account, right? You have Teams, Outlook account. It is combined with Microsoft, and they have SQL Server, which is Microsoft. They have Azure Storage, which is Microsoft. They are, Database, they are now integrating with Azure, right? So since all of their products are from Microsoft, they prefer Power BI, because compatibility of having Microsoft tools with Power BI would be easier than other tools, right? So yeah, so definitely Power BI will have scope. And if you see it in the market, like right now they are upgrading themselves to Fabric as well. It doesn't mean like Power BI has its own advantages, and there are certain disadvantages. Like it's a bit expensive now, and the Tableau has its own advantages and disadvantages as well. But it depends on the client, his requirement, and what kind of reporting he is looking into, right? So there are a lot of things in the backend as well. But it's not always there is a scope for all the BI tools in the market. If you look at market now, first Power BI and Tableau will always be there. We have MicroStrategy, Click, and GCP from Google Looker is also there. So these are top 5 or 6 tools which are currently in the market, which are up and running.
Perfect. Is Google Looker Studio picking up?
Yes, so it's not, it is picking up, but thing is, right now all the companies, they are moving their data from on-prem to cloud, right? So on-prem data sources to cloud. Now we have 3 sources. One is either they are moving to Azure Database, Azure, or AWS, or GCP. If again, it depends on the pricing and other things, right? So if you go to US market, they're more into GCP part, right? So the companies which are moving their data to GCP, they are more interested in Google Looker, right? So again, Google Looker has its own advantages and disadvantages, but yes, for that also you have a certain scope.
Makes sense. I mean, whoever cloud they are using, it makes more sense to use their own BI tool
Yes.
because it is seamless then. What do you think about the importance of the certification? I guess Microsoft has its own Power BI certification, PL 300. Like,
Yeah.
have you explored it? Do you think it is important to have it?
Yeah, definitely. I suggest if you're completing the course first, I suggest you complete the course, then complete the certification. Certification will always have an added advantage when you attend the interviews, right? It's like if you complete your graduation, right? They'll ask for a certificate, right? As a fresher, right? So let's say someone there is a one position, the company is shortlisted two candidates, right? Both of them are good. Now they are not able to decide whom they want to hire. Now, at that example, this is one scenario where certification comes into the picture, right? Officially, certification is something. Officially, you are giving information to organization that I am officially Microsoft certified analyst, right? So I would recommend 100% certification will always have an advantage. It's not that you have to go for certification, but if you have a certification, that adds resume to your skill set and your resume. That adds weightage to your skill set and your resume. So, yeah.
And I mean, I am always curious just to understand how does a day in a life of a lead looks like in an organization. What do you do on day-to-day basis?
That depends. That depends on the organization to organization. But let me tell you with my organization, right? So currently I'm handling a team of 16, 17, 17 plus people, 16 plus people, right? So I'll divide my time into my 10 hours working hours into different segments, right? First 3 hours, first 2 hours it will be manage team management kind of activities, right? So usually I'll log in at around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. The first 2 hours I'll just go through my team managerial activities, like you'll have this leave request, or some people have certain issues, work from home, work from office, or some other things, right? So all this manager or your manager or director, they'll have some questions and some other things. So first 2 hours will be on that. Next 5 hours you should be working on the client activity development. No matter which position you are, you should always be a developer. First you are a developer, then you are a team lead or a manager. Then only you'll understand, right? So next 4-5 hours, like from 11:30 I'll start my development activity till 4:30. I'll spend my time in with client related activities, development activities, understand the data and all those things. Then last 1.5 hour I'll do some work on the research part, right? So what are the different tools, what are the new features which Microsoft added, and how can we implement as a team that new feature or functionality to improve certain process, or any areas of improvement, or having some coffee discussions with the team members on what they have learned. Always I'll make sure at least 15-20 minutes of my time I have a coffee discussion with at least one or two of my team members to understand what is the new thing they have learned or anything they are struggling, right? So we should have these discussions. Then last one that's how we categorize our day. And with 2025 coming in, and we the market is expanding right now. Going forward, the scope would be like I should engage on more other tools as well, right? So example, if you go with top tier top big four firms, they are still using traditional BI tools, right? Maybe SAP BO or OBAW. So I'm just trying to explore those tools, so that in case if we get an opportunity to migrate those reporting tools from SAP BO or OBAW to Power BI, then we are up and ready, right? So first is, as a lead, you should understand your people, understand your team, and you should be technically strong, and simultaneously you should be good at team management and client management. So
I mean,
yeah,
I mean, pretty exhaustive day, but yeah, it's fun.
it's not that, once you start understanding and once you start interacting with people, right, it would be a fun thing to have.
So yours is work from office or is it hybrid?
It's in hybrid. Hybrid, we have, it's not mandatory to be in office, but I usually try to be in office because office is something where I feel happy, and I try to be with my coworkers. That gives some kind of energy to me to be working, right? So
Correct.
I've been working from home, like I did work from home for 2-3 years. Then I thought, like, no, it's not making much interesting. So when you work from office, apart from your team, you can have interaction with other teams as well, like what engineering team is doing, or you can speak to your leader, team, your manager or your CEO. You can get their views. All these interaction, when you have this interaction offline, you'll get lot of inputs, or their views, right? So that's why I personally prefer having work from home or work from office.
Can only earn in work from office, home, but you can learn in work from office, right?
Yeah, work from office is, especially if you're a junior, right? I prefer them to have work from office. Then you'll understand how, sometimes it's not about interacting, but sitting with your co-worker, looking at his screen, how he is doing different, how he is using the
Correct.
shortcuts. Then you can learn, right? All these things, when you're in office, then only you can learn. This is not something, right, you can connect you through team. It's again it depends on mindset to mindset. Few people, when they are with other co-workers, they will learn, right? Few people, they are self-learners. If they are alone, they will learn, right? So it's good to understand in which category you fall in, right? Then yeah.
Perfect. And how is it? I mean, can you explain a scenario so that everyone gets an idea about how is it to be working in a large scale project which involves a lot of data? I mean, the general use cases which everyone does is like financial analytics, credit card analytics, Uber analytics, Zomato analytics. I mean, it's just two, three couple of data sets and then joining them and then finding out some BI out of it. So it's pretty standard. But in a big organization or in a financial institution where a lot of things are happening and there might be hundreds of tables around, how is it? How things are being coordinated and prioritized, and how does use case works? Can you just give a short example about that?
So use case, right? In any organization, they will not randomly create any report, right? So before creating any report or a report, uh, just first we have someone like a business analyst or business translator. Okay, so first we will try to understand what are the requirements of the end user, right? Let's say we are creating something for someone, a sales representative, so he's working down the line, or a CFO, right? So first you have to identify who are your end users and how what they are expecting from the report, right? Second thing, and third and most important thing is how this report would be beneficial for them, right? So this is where we just try to understand. We just try to be in the end user's shoes and try to understand what they are expecting, what are their expectations, how it would the report will help in identifying certain decision making, right? Then
Correct.
after this, it's after understanding, it's not that you gather the requirement, you understand, and you go create some report, come back after 4 months or 6 months. It's not going to work that way, right? Because after 6 months the requirement will change, right? So there is this thing called agile methodology, right? You have waterfall model and agile model. So most of the time all the organizations will prefer agile methodology. So you just gather the requirement, you start building the requirement. Based on the requirement, you start building the report, and simultaneously you start providing the updates as well. So that You, instead of after gathering the requirement, build, once you built everything, and when you go back to the user, there could be chance that user might say, no, this is not something which we are expecting, right? Then the entire product is not, if it is not up to the expectation, then again you have to rebuild. You have spent effort, everything, right? That's why when the product is 10% or 20% completed, 30% completed, you go to the business, you'll inform, these are the updates and this is where we have done. Then you will be aligned, okay, you'll get some understanding, okay, we are, business also will know whether we are with the expectations of what end user is expecting, right? That's how agile methodology works. And usually once you gather the requirement, we create a wireframe. So wireframe is just to give the end user high level glimpse of how our report would be, right? How our report would be, how the UI, what are the different visualizations. So it's like before releasing a movie, you'll show the trailer, right? So, right? Then if you look at the trailer, then you'll understand whether it's a mass movie or it's a romantic or it's a mythological movie, right? That's how we create an MVP to give first level glimpse of to the user. And if user is okay, MVP is minimal viable product, or we can call it a wireframe, right? We create a wireframe. It's just we use some Figma or different tools that we have, Figma or a simple PPT, PowerPoint, or we can use Power BI with some sample data set just to give how the report looks, first level things. Once user gets okay, user says okay, I'm okay with the report, then we start building the report, right? So that's how. And again, building the report, it depends on the organization. Most of the organization, they have their own standards, and they have to use only these color combinations, right? And they have to use slices on the left. Always title, each page should have title. So mostly you should understand what are the standards of that organization, right? So you should, and again, the standard depends from organization to organization. They prefer only each organization will have their own customized color combination. You cannot use any colors more than that formatting, right? So that's how, it depends on that's how entire report development cycle happens. I could see someone has raised the hand.
Let me just see. Most common. Oh yeah, I mean, I'll just take one more question and then we'll move on to Q&A. There would be a lot of questions which would be coming in from the student side as well. You have summed up pretty well. You have justified the journey, what you have gone through, and as well told the importance of each and every tool, the certificates, and as well as how important the UI and the color combination is with respect to an organization, right? What would be the final advice which you would give to all the learners who are listening to this so that they can fast track the learning journey and without making mistakes?
I would say, like, it's not about without making mistakes, right? Make as many mistakes as you can, because right where, if you do the mistake, then only you will learn, right? And first and important thing is, learning is different and practicing is different, right? If you spend 1 hour on learning, you have to spend into 1:2 hours. If you are spending 1 hour at least in learning, you have to spend 2 to 3 hours in practice. That's only you will understand the thing. Because when you look at when you are in class, or when you go through the session, when you listen, you always feel like you understand the thing. But when you start implementing, that's where actual problem comes, right? And when it comes to BI reporting, it's not about how much you have learned. It's about how much you have practiced. With practice only, you will get to know, okay, these are the standards. These are the standards I need to maintain. Or when you create a report, it's not randomly you took certain graphs and create a report, right? If you create 10 or 15 reports, then you'll understand, okay, title should be in this font, it should be in this size, and it should be on the left, right? So when it comes to reporting, right, when you are using card visual, it should be always on the top. Because when you look at a report, usually human eye has a tendency to move from left to right. When you look at the screen, first you see first thing that comes to your notice is what is on the top left, right? Then you start noticing towards right. It's not that it moves from right to left, right? So this is something. So what should be on the left? Any important information you are giving in the report should be on the left. Then you should have color combination, all those things. It shouldn't be eye catchy again. You should use some dark red color and the green color in the visuals. That looks pretty odd. And if you're presenting it someone like CEO, right, he'll say, what is it? Is it like rainbow colors or something, right? So all these things comes with practice, right?
Correct.
It's not that how many hours of session you have attended. It's about how much of time you have practiced. And do as many mistakes as you can. Okay, participate in hackathons. Okay, and you have when it comes to Power BI, you have Power BI. There is a lot huge vast big Power BI community where people will post different questions, right? Try to understand the questions, try to answer. That's where you improve your skill set, right? Because practicing without understanding that doesn't make much of the impact as well, right? So learn, practice, try to solve as many problems as you can, right? Try to participate in as many hackathons as you can. Like we have workout Wednesdays, or there are in Power BI community people will be asking different questions, right? Try to understand the question, right? Try to solve the question. That's how you improve your skill set. That's how you will be more job oriented, right?
Correct. Makes sense. I mean, the final word from you is probably practice, 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 practice. It will make you perfect, right? And learn. Don't fear to make mistakes. It's quite a statement. Again, a big thank you, Abhilash, for spending time with us and for your kind words. Let's move on to few questions and see what our learners want to ask you. So the first question, which we already have, is I'll just start projecting it on the screen. Is most common challenges you face when working with Power BI?
Most common challenges you make, it depends, but it depends. But firstly, is like when you're working with within a large organization, right? So data engineer does not know how to create a data model. How is data tables we create would be helpful for the developer, right? So he'll be creating something what he thinks as a perfect thing. But whatever is perfect thing doesn't have to be perfect for us, right? So most important challenge is like when you're working with the report, you always have to understand the data model, right? So building a report is different. Building a report with proper data model will be different. That comes with experience, right? So before creating any report, try to understand, try to visualize yourself creating a proper data model, how the filter flows, and creating an MVP, right? So because most of the thing people create something and they'll go back to the user, then show it, and the user requirement does not match with the end user requirement, right? So first and foremost thing is try to understand your requirements clearly, right? So if you're with a client, and first time there is a chance that we might not understand the first time. If you're not understanding, just inform him clearly that I was it was a bit difficult for me to understand. Can you explain it another time? Never ever, until and unless you are not clear with what you have to do, never start the things, right? So most of the thing what people will think is like, what if I ask the same question again? He might think that in a different way, and they'll randomly assume something and start building it, and that lands nowhere, right? So the foremost thing is, before starting anything, just understand your requirements. That's where most of the people I find the problem there, right? So again, this is my personal experience, but yeah, it depends on the role you're working and the client and various different things.
Perfect. Makes sense. Lot of times this happens. The statement is not clear. We try to think according to what we feel is being explained to us, and then we do something else, and then whatever is required is something else, and then a lot of back and forth happens. So never ever hesitate to double check what was told to us, right?
Yep.
Makes sense.
Ask questions as much as, whether it's a silly question, good question, bad question, ask as many questions as you can. Then only the end user will also understand, okay, this guy is interested, right? So if you are not asking questions, it gives some kind of negative energy, right? So
To ask questions. Make sure everyone you ask questions here as well. So there's the next question. I guess it is slightly not related to your profile, but yeah, the question is, to become a good data scientist, is it important to learn machine learning and NLP? What is your take on this?
I am not. I know basics of ML and NLP, but I'm not the correct person to answer this question because I'm not into data science part. I'm mostly into reporting and BI part, right? So I would rather prefer to skip this question because I'm not the correct person and I don't want to give any wrong information as well, right? So
Makes
sorry
sense.
for that.
Perfect. See, I mean, this is so nice. Lot of times, lot of times, people think that ML and data science is important to get into industry. I mean, if you are very good at BI part, you can still survive, right? I mean, there's a lot of opportunity in that sector as well. You
Yes.
prove that.
I mean, if you go anywhere, right? If you're working in a small grocery store, if you work in if you look at a supermarket, right? They have this billing system, right? End of the day, no matter how much billing he has to do, he'll do. What he needs is how much of revenue he has generated each day, right? Either system will give or he'll download that to Excel and he analyzes itself, right? So right from there, you always have the scope for data analysis,
Correct.
right? And with this new technology, right, everything has been we are using all the different tools, so there is been lot of data which is capturing in the backend. So first, before data science, it's important to understand data science. I agree there is a scope, but for me, before data science, you should first understand, analyze your existing data patterns. Then you should go for AI, ML, and all those.
Forecasting, everything could be done at the later on stage. Absolutely correct. Uh, I guess there are no further questions, but I have one question for you. Does your company hire freshers or interns? This should have been the question from our learners.
Yeah. So what happens in BI? Maybe unfortunate thing is like most of the companies will not prefer freshers because BI developer is just a client facing role, right? So having fresher, again, we can develop the things, but interaction with the client that comes with experience, right? So you have scope, but compared to seniors, you have less opportunity. So currently, what organizations are doing is they are hiring interns, they are training them on technical, like someone who has trained on Power BI. They are just giving high level overview on the training, and they are providing ways of working with the client. Ways of working is something which organizations or ways of working is like how you have to interact with the client, what kind of questions you have to ask, or what is the development mechanism, right, of process in an organization. All these things they'll give high level training during the internship, then they'll onboard. So in our company, right, we have right now we don't have openings for internship, but there is a scope. Not now. Sometime in March or April, we are looking for around 6 to 10 interns who are already pre-trained on Power BI, so that we don't have to train them on Power BI, but just train them on high level on ways of working.
Yes, makes sense. Perfect. There's one small question which I would like to take is, have ChatGPT made role of BIs redundant?
Uh, what does the word redundant mean here? Is it like I
What
just
he's
want?
saying, I mean, on ChatGPT, paid version of ChatGPT, you can just upload the data and then start asking questions, and then it will give you the insights. It's not reporting, but it's just conversation.
Redundant is work easy. It means yes. Thing is, don't depend on. I personally prefer is not dependent ChatGPT, right? If you have some certain data set, first create a report. Based on that report, load that report into ChatGPT and ask suggestions, right?
Ah,
Because that's where you are in a, because if you depend on ChatGPT right from the basics, right from the reporting, then your innovative thinking will stop there, right? So if you want to be innovative, for when you find some data, just try to analyze yourself. Try to create something, like create 70% and 30% dependent on ChatGPT instead of 100% depending on ChatGPT, right? Because there are certain things which human mind, the end of the day, ChatGPT is a tool, right? It will not give 100%. If you have 70% of the solution, when you keep that 70%, 30%, it will help adding that 30%, right? Again, if you start working, if you give work to your that innovative part of your mind, right, that comes with you thinking, right? Just spend some time yourself, understand, okay, can I use a card visual for this KPI? Understand that and ask that question in ChatGPT. If you give, based on that, you can decide that. Okay, use ChatGPT as a supporting tool, but don't 100% depend on the ChatGPT or any AI tool, right? First, you
absolutely.
use your own intelligence, then depend on machine intelligence.
Absolutely correct. I mean, absolutely correct. I mean, it is just an assistant to us. It's not the whole and sole decision maker. We are the decision maker. We should take help of it, not rely on it. Right? Perfect. Thank you so much. With this, I don't think there are further questions to ask, and you have really justified all the answers to my questions, whatever I had in my mind, and your journey is incredible. All the best for your future endeavors. Thank you so much, Mr. Abhilash, for spending time today with our learners and us. Thank you so much, everyone, for being till the very end and listening and asking questions.
Yeah, thank you everyone, and I wish you good luck, and I wish you a good weekend. It was a pleasure interacting with you. So looking forward to meeting you sometime soon. Right? I wish you good luck again.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Uh,
much. Good evening.
Bye.